Hey everybody, I wanted to give you guys an update and as well as an update for Florida. This is now, Orlando is now the hub for any deceased Algerian. If you know of an Algerian that dies anywhere in the state of Florida, I will personally handle their body here in Orlando. We'll just have to get it moved to Orlando from Tampa, Miami. If they have a family or friend in Miami or Tampa, I'm sure they'll take care of it. If they are an Algerian that dies, that, for example, does not have a family member, does not have anybody in the United States, and I'm talking anywhere in the United States, you can count on me. I will bring the body here, or I will bring the body to New York City, and I will make sure that the body gets out and is in the best possible case and situation, that the family's treated with respect, and that we make sure that we wrap our arms around these Algerians as a community. I wanted to talk about something that happened in April of last year, of 3 years ago, and then what recently just happened. In April of 2018, an Algerian passed away in Tampa. His aunt flew down to Tampa to try to identify the body, go through the process. A group of Algerians went to the person's house. They looked around and saw what happened and then scheduled a janaza, but then nobody attended. I was called the night before by Maulud Barbet, told that we think that there's a problem in Tampa, that nobody's helping the aunt, and I drove over there and stood in an empty parking lot. I proceeded to go on a live and start asking every Algerian I could that was in the area to please attend. Hamza Vu drove over. Ali Hadrawi from Orlando called his friend Rabah in Naples. They drove up. 2 Cabals drove up for the body. Literally, I think 4 or 5 people attended. I don't even know how large the Tampa community is. I do know that none of the people that went to the guy's house the night before showed up at the janazah the next day, nor did they answer the phone. So literally, I was sitting in a janazah by myself, and then those 4 other Algerians showed up, but I was staying with the mother. And when one of them took the aunt out to dinner, they were told me to go back to the funeral home, and the body was handed to me. Now imagine I had not seen or been in a funeral since I lost my son in 2008, and I'm given a boy's body. And I asked the aunt, what belongings does your nephew have? And she said, nothing that's except it's in this bag. So 1 suitcase had his whole life. And the only consolation that I have is that I was able to comfort the family, and I was able to try to be by them, and I still talk to them. This situation was not a similar situation, but it was complicated. The boy that passed away, he wasn't a boy, he was in his 50s. He had family that lived in Miami. They all moved away. One of them moved to Spain, which was his older brother, and the other one his nephew moved to Colorado. So both of them moved different places. When the boy died on the 11th, the boy died on the 11th, and the man, I'll keep calling him a boy, he died on the 11th, and the family started posting to the groups and weren't getting any response because there is no funeral association or Algerian association here in Florida. There's really nothing here. There's a group, Florida Algerians in Florida, but unfortunately there is no central phone number or anybody to call. So I was contacted by the nephew, and I proceeded to tell him, start a GoFundMe. We're going to need you to do this GoFundMe. And I said, there's a possibility that the consulate pay, but I'm going to get to that. So we started a GoFundMe. I proceeded to beg Miami Algerians and Florida Algerians to contact me. No one did. 2 Algerians from Fort Lauderdale did contact me, but nobody set up a funeral or anything. So I ended up calling a funeral home up in New York City. His name is Ayad. And I asked him, how much would you charge to get the body shipped out of Florida and send it out through New York? And he gave us a flat rate of $7,500, which it's about $5,000 to ship a body, but I had to get the body from Florida up there because I didn't have a community around here, which I probably, knowing what I know now, I would have probably brought the body here to Orlando and then supervised, the shipping home and handled it. But I didn't. I shipped it to Miami, and now the body's in Miami, and it's going through the process of getting a Florida death certificate. And they're getting the Florida death certificate, and they're getting just all the stuff that they need for the funeral, which the body can't go out until it gets the consular clearance and the other things. But the other thing I was going to tell you, those of you that messaged me and blew my phone up telling me that the Algiers consulate covers it, they don't cover every funeral. And they certainly did not cover this one. And let me explain why. Because this gentleman died in a situation where we don't know where his belongings are. He's an Algerian. He's registered with the consulate, but we don't know where his belongings are. And the Algerian embassy consulate requires 12 months bank statements and a complicated set of piece of paper to fill out. How am I going to get 12 months bank statements? How is any of us going to get 12 months bank statements? We can't get the documents because we don't even know where his stuff is. We barely can get him identified as Algerian. And right now, because I don't know where his passport is, we don't even know what's in his belongings or whether all his stuff is just going to be thrown into the streets. We don't know where he's renting because when you change an address and you don't tell anybody, he didn't give his new proper address to anyone. So all his stuff is sitting someplace. We don't know. His passport's probably going to be tossed. It could be pictures, could be all of his things that he's collected for his whole life that he's been here. Personal belongings, clothes, everything's missing. We don't know where his stuff is because we don't know where to look. So fortunately on the first case, which happened in Tampa, the aunt was able to come down here and we knew where he lived. The second one, we didn't. But either case, we had the same situation with not being able to get that documents. And the Algerian consulate requires 12 months worth of bank statements and a bunch of other paperwork that if you're a tragic death and you don't know anybody, there's no way that you're going to get that. Okay? I mean, how would we get it? So fortunately, we were able to raise the money. The money went directly into the nephew's account. But I do want to put the word out now is that Orlando is Algerian Central if someone passes away in the state of Florida. If someone has passed away in the state of Florida, I will handle it. I will go to the funeral home. I will handle it with my hands. I will bring the body here and I will deal with it. I don't want to go through this again. I do not want to go through somebody passing away in Miami and the community not doing anything. I don't want to go through somebody passing away in Tampa and the community not showing up at the janazah. This is not going to happen. If someone passes away in the state of Florida or even in southern United States and they don't have any accompanied people, I will bring them to Florida. I will put together a janazah. I will make sure people are there. They may not be Algerians at the janazah. It may be Moroccans. If I can't find Algerians to show up at anything, you guys can't kill me for that. But at least we can have somebody going home with a proper janazah, a proper burial, a proper set of people by the person's side, someone that can communicate with the family. And I'm taking this on. It's not that I don't have other things to do, but this situation, this is really disgusting. And I hope to God that when I pass away, I hope I have a better network than this. It's making me want to go by my grave so I don't end up burned and thrown in a dumpster somewhere the way people act. Seriously. And you know what? I go through this all the time. If people have enough energy to chase women and get drunk, they have enough energy to care about somebody that's deceased. Because the least you can do is make sure a brother or sister gets home safe. So that's my opinion on that. Everybody's asking me about the lottery. To be honest with you, I don't really know. I don't have an answer on the lottery. The lottery's a mess right now. We are waiting on some word from these attorneys that are suing. They're resuing again for the higher lottery winners. We're going to have an answer on that. I don't know, maybe in a month. But the 2020 people haven't even started interviewing. So it's just a mess. And my original video that I did, I was kind of almost at the point that I was shouting. But I don't need to shout anymore. It's just, if I decide to take on this responsibility, it's me. It's me that I've made this decision to take this on. I don't need to blame anybody else for it. But I mean, seriously, I appreciate everybody from other parts of the United States that stepped up. I don't know what's wrong with the state. I don't know whether it's just that people can't, there's no community here, or things have changed, or maybe the community here is very young and they feel indestructible. But I mean, we have some GoFundMes that go all the way to 40,000, and I mean, or go to crazy amounts of money. And I don't even know whether, I have no proof that the money got to the family. And so for my feeling is, you know, when someone dies, it's blood. It's blood money. Like if somebody passes away, it's considered blood money, you know. And Algerians, as far as I'm concerned, have always been very honorable people. Do better. Do better. Because I've never seen anything like this. This was ridiculous. And one of my friends that was up in New Jersey was discussing this. And I mean, I don't mind being there, but I don't want to be there in this kind of chaos. I want the situation better. So if someone does not have a family member, they do not have a family member, a relative, or anyone, I will be there. I will be their family. I don't want anyone in this country to ever go through what this gentleman go through. So if someone passes away, albeit suicide, you don't know what's going on, they die tragically, and you don't know how to handle shipping the body back, and you're worried about raising money for the GoFundMe and going through the process, I will be there. So just consider me the Algerian funeral home, because it needs to be said that this was a completely unacceptable situation. And I will do better by these next people that pass away. If it happens, I will do better. I will do right by them. And I don't care where they are in the United States. I will bring them here. I will have the funeral home ship them here, and I will handle it from the beginning to the end. I will sit right with the body. I will call the family. I will, if I can't speak Arabic, I'll get my Moroccan friends to do it. But we can't do this again. Imagine this man died, and he didn't have his uncle. Imagine he was by himself. So this is a state of affairs in Florida. So you need to know that. I've always known this about the state, but I needed to come talk to you because this is something that happened already 2 times. It's not once. It wasn't random. And the lack of compassion and the lack of commitment and the lack of dedication is shocking. Like, to me, the fact that people aren't like up in arms over this, that this doesn't seem to disturb you, but it's completely indicative of the entire community and how they interact. And I do understand that everybody has trauma and everyone has hunger. But I need to explain to you how I feel that this should affect you. You know, and I'm going to talk about some very difficult things in the next couple minutes, and I want you to hear me out because I'm really right about this. You know, Algerians have been through a lot. This is one of the things that drug me to them, that made me want to be with them, because they had been through so many terrible things. And I felt like I could relate to them because of the 1990s, because of the terrorism, because of the abuse, because of everything everybody went through, the trauma, the deaths, the loss. I found a way to connect because I had been through so much. And at 2001, I had been through a lot. By the time I ended 2008, I had buried a child, buried a son. And I've been in 2 long-term, very physically abusive relationships. One was with an American, one was with an Algerian. And since February of 2021, I have been in therapy to help me understand why I stayed in abusive situations, what I need to do about my life to change it. And this does have some relevance to you guys as a community too. And in 2019, I had a relationship with a very deceptive Algerian who did not tell me the truth about their marital status. And it really messed me up. Like, I went through a really bad experience with an Algerian in 2018. And since then, I have not had a boyfriend. I've dated very sporadically, but not any Algerians. I've been kind of just with other nationalities and Americans and stuff, just simply because going through the trauma of being deceived by somebody in the community and then them acting terrible afterwards really shook me. So that's what's going on in my life. Like, I'm homeschooling my daughter, who's 16 years old. I take care of the community from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep, and I deal with my mother. I date very occasionally here in America, or I have very few. I don't really have a social life. I go to the gym every single day. That's my relief, is to try to lose weight. And I am now in a heavy diet because I'm trying to get down another 50 pounds because I want to have surgery. I'm trying to change myself, change my body, get healthier, do things for myself that help me. But emotionally, I do go to a therapist. I see a therapist every week. I have to be able to deal with my pain and the things that I'm dealing with. That being said, I think the community is collectively in shock. I think the things that they experienced in their lives, maybe the poverty, maybe not having things, not having a job, when they get over here and then they interact with Algerians, and then maybe if those Algerians don't act right, they get traumatized and don't want to be around Algerians. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have heard some pretty atrocious shit. There is a girl in Texas who is a U.S. citizen Algerian who borrowed money from another Algerian who offered to help her, and she has not paid her back. So here I am getting calls from the Algerian in Texas that had the money borrowed the money, lent the money. And I have a U.S. citizen Algerian female that I'm calling who doesn't respond to me and doesn't send money. So the Algerians themselves are not acting always right. And I would be very cautious about lending any money to anybody until, honestly, I hate to tell you, talk to me. Talk to Adele, because unfortunately we have people that borrow money and don't return it. And we also have people that are coming over here that are lottery winners that are not grateful. Let me explain something, lottery winners. Nobody owes you anything. They don't owe you a house. They don't owe you to sponsor. And if they have sponsored you and brought you over to this country, you need to do everything you can to get out of their house and go do what you're supposed to do. Okay? Because these people over here in America, they're struggling to make it. They're struggling to make money. They're struggling to not stay homeless. They're struggling not to come on here and ask for money. So I just want to let you know that as far as I'm concerned, Orlando is the hub for funerals for Algerians who don't have anybody. This is not going to happen again. This week will not happen again on my watch. And people ask me, well, what's your concern? My concern is apparently I don't have anything to do. I have you guys. I have my children and I have you guys. So if I choose to be your parent and your mom or your aunt or your big sister here, and I choose to step into that role, you're just going to have to accept that. You're just going to have to accept me too, whether you like it or not. I don't have a choice. You guys have given me no choice but to do what I'm doing. You guys have given me no choice. You put me in that position. And because I was friends with Algerians in 2001, and I know the old school Algerians. Like, I know the ones that are 50s and 60s. I know the guys, the Rojal. I know the guys that were fighting in 1990s that watched their brothers get shot in front of them. Like, I know Algerians. Like, I was with them. I was with these Algerians that suffered a lot, and I've been friends with them for years and years and years. And I can't, knowing what I know, I can't allow an Algerian to be neglected. I can't allow a body to go home without a flag on it, or comfort, or care. I care about the people back in Algeria. I want to make sure that anyone that's a lottery winner is taken care of fairly and kindly. I do need to let you know, lottery winners, that I don't have good news for you. The numbers are not going over 21,000 right now. For what I'm seeing, I have a 21,000 and I barely know if they're going to make it. This is all as a result of Trump's bans. I'm sorry that this is happening. 2020 winners, I don't know what's happening with you either. There's so many lawsuits going on simultaneously, and they haven't even started interviewing the 9,000 that were chosen as the 2020. So anything can happen. So that's all I wanted to say to you. I wanted to tell you that I am now the hub of Algerians in Florida. I am Algerians' funeral home in Florida. I have to be. I have to be the person that helps, because you guys don't have an association here that works, that answers the phone, that has a phone number listed. You guys are not doing what you're supposed to be doing in Florida. And I know there's a lot of you here, and I know you're trying your best, but you're waiting for somebody else to found something that doesn't exist. And even me, if anyone knew me, even the worst ex that I had, the biggest scumbag, I would still make sure that that person's family was treated fairly and gotten a home. Do better. Do better. Do better, guys. And community-wise, that trauma that you guys experienced as children, or if you're an older Algerian, that's very real. And it's not understandable why you are very slow to help people. And it's because there are Algerians that are over here that are not doing the right thing. They are borrowing money and not returning it. They are coming over here as lottery winners. They're not my lottery winners, but I'm hearing this about other people's lottery winners, not mine, because my people don't do shit like this. I'll freaking take a plane and fly there before anybody does this shit that does this kind of shit to somebody. I'll get on a plane and I'll make it my point to go someplace. I won't allow this. I won't allow this bullshit. Okay. But some people come over here and they mistreat it. You know, if you come over here and apply for all kinds of public assistance and someone's sponsoring you, you're going to hurt that person. Okay. So think about what you're doing to the people that you're talking to. And as you guys know, I'm not matching sponsors anymore. All I do is post and put a video up. I'm not matching. I can't. There's not enough sponsors anymore. So if you see someone's video go up, that person needs help. Okay. It's because I can't match. Neither can Adele, because we did hundreds and hundreds of people and we tried our hardest. But towards the end of 2020, the consulate got pissed off at me and Adele. So there's no way that we can help the way we used to help. Unfortunately, I wish I could, but I'm a hindrance. All I can do is help you guys get homes, land, places to go. I'm advising a lot of people to go to Columbus because I feel like it's a good place to start. I feel like Columbus is a really good place to start. I think Chicago as well. Both of those communities are very good about looking after each other. Texas has a great community. I don't know them as well, but Dallas has an amazing Algerian community, and the leaders of the Algerian community in Dallas are fabulous. You'd never see what happened in Orlando happened in Florida, happened in Texas. So we're going to change things. I'm here for all of you. You guys know that. If you are a married person looking for a sponsor, I cannot help you. I can post, but I can't promise you anything. I know it's very hard for you guys. Lottery winners, I'm doing my best. Right now, we're waiting to see what's even going to happen, which numbers are going to go. It doesn't look good. And I warned people earlier that it didn't look good. I don't think it looks good for the numbers to go high. They're not interviewing the 1,700 in May. So I don't know what's going to happen June, July, and August. I don't even know if they're even going to get to 21, which is heartbreaking for one of my friends that's number 21. I'm hoping to God, if the lawsuit opens up, it looks like I'm going to be getting somebody else a lawyer. So I am the Orlando Algerian Association, whether I want to be or not. I am the Florida Funeral Association for Algerians, whether I want to be or not. Take care.